Any history of the New Orleans Saints franchise may start with Tulane Stadium, but the bulk of it's focused here at the Superdome. Though for a time after Katrina in 2005, it looked like the Saints might not call the Dome home any longer. Eyewitness Sports reporter Lyons Yellen looks back and talks to some of those involved at the time. As Dennis Weltering reports, critics say the metro area's storm protection system was a disaster waiting to happen. As North Shore Bureau Chief Ashley Rodrigue reports, members of the public are getting their first look at the options that are on the table. Now, it doesn't appear Harrison Riley was ever convicted in Louisiana, but he spent years in a Texas prison. Paul Murphy reports Riley's troubled past showed a disdain for law enforcement. Our coverage of the 10th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina continues tonight with a look at the storm from some of the city's unspoken heroes. Karen? Good evening. I'm Natalie Shepard in the Channel 4 studios. President Obama spent part of his time here touring some of the city's hardest hit neighborhoods. Then he headed to the lower 9th Ward. Karen Swenson joins us from the Sanchez Center, where the president spoke this afternoon. Karen.
Hi, Karen. Good evening. Yeah, people are still streaming into the Smoothie King Center. As you can imagine, I'm sure traffic is bad out there and security is tight for an event like this. We're getting ready to start. I don't know if you can hear it, but we can. The Warren Easton Band is playing for the crowd as they're coming in to sit down. Now, this is a huge event. Lots of dignitaries here to speak. President Clinton being the tops among them.
He is the headliner. International Trail Mix.
There is a day for everything. That doesn't even seem real. I will have mine with just cashews and M&Ms.
That works.
That's mine for trail mix.
That works for me.
I'm going to keep mine secret, but the weather for National Trail Mix Day was quite excellent.
It was. If
Warm,
you had the
muggy.
M&Ms, it probably melted. It was 93 out there today.
Good.
But yeah, exactly. You know, the frozen ones, they're putting the blizzards and stuff, they're not good. But
Frozen
anyway,
chocolate,
we're
no.
talking about.
The goal of the event is to scare up more donations for a local food bank. Get
That's
it?
a good cause. Yes, yes.
Scare
And
up.
look, you're elbowing the weird zombie stomach. All right. And on that note, that's our news for now.
Have a good night. We will see you at 10 o'clock on Channel 4. Well, Katrina impacted most every aspect of life across the region. One area that researchers are just starting to talk about is the impact it had on kids in their early teens. For many of those who lost their homes and were out of school for months, it appears to have a lasting impact on their ability to get an education and a job today. From the moment he first walked through the door, Darren Allridge found purpose at the Youth Empowerment Project.
It really made me feel like that, I could be a positive person and, in my community. I gotta bring my bike back over here, dog.
He's only 24, but already serving as a mentor to teenagers not much younger than him at Yep's Work and Learn Center bike shop. Here, kids learn bike repair and job skills.
So was this like the fourth group or the third group of guys?
A judge referred Allridge to Yep in 2009. He was a young father without a high school diploma.
It had a major impact on my life because at the time, I really was at a struggle where I needed education and I needed to work.
His teen years were a struggle. His family lost everything during Katrina, and like many, they evacuated to Texas, eventually moved to Baton Rouge for a year, and then returned to New Orleans.
It was crazy, I was 14 years old, just started junior high school.
Allridge and many of the kids here fall into a group called Opportunity Youth, 16 to 24-year-olds disconnected from education and employment. The New Orleans metro area now tops the nation with 1 in 5 young adults, 26,000 in all.
There's just sort of a resounding lack of hope.
Amy Barrett is the director of strategic initiatives at Tulane University's Cowan Institute. She says quantifying Katrina's impact on adolescents is difficult, but the trauma and displacement kids experience post-storm plays a big role in what's happening today.
One young man, when he applied to us, and I asked him in the interview, what's your 5-year plan? And he kind of looked at me funny and he said, I can't even think about tomorrow.
Some kids were out of school for months following the storm. They lost their homes and sense of security. And for many in that situation, it's been difficult to get life back on track.
The Katrina trauma hypothesis is a very powerful theory that we really need to test.
LSU criminologist Dr. Peter Scharf says trauma contributes to crime rate. Now, 10 years later, it's becoming clear the storm left lasting effects on low-income teens. and is creating a present-day need for educational and job training programs,
What's the business card going to be for?
like those being provided at YEP.
We've always had vulnerable youth. We've had a large percentage of young people who have been underserved and we have not invested in our community. And I think Katrina put the spotlight on that.
Melissa Sawyer founded YEP a year before the storm hit. She's seen the need grow firsthand, and the storm attracted funding and attention. But as the years go by, she says money to help the city's opportunity youth is still needed.
Just because someone's 18 or 19 or 20 or 21 or 22, that doesn't mean, oh, they're okay now. I think we have a responsibility as a community to each play a role in trying to make our city a safer, more equitable, healthier community.
Barrett says the Cowan Institute is working to connect nonprofit organizations across the city to fill those gaps.
Through our number crunching and data crunching, we've really seen that there just surely are not enough opportunities for young adults.
But Aldridge isn't letting that stop him, and he'll keep helping one kid at a time.
We just wanted to be better than what we was, and we ain't let the storm, take our hope and fade away from us.
YEP had a $235,000 budget a year before Katrina, when it served just 25 young people. Now the nonprofit serves nearly 1,000 kids a year with a budget of $3.5 million. But Sawyer worries for the future as grant money and donations dry up. And joining us to talk more about this brand new hospital and the goals, not just for this facility, but the surrounding healthcare district, is Dr. Peter W., the interim chief medical officer and director of emergency medicine services here at the University Medical Center. And I know this has been quite the odyssey. What has the 10-year process to get to this point been like?